All right, go.
All right, Shalom. We're going to give all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors to the apostles and the elders and brave those who do well. Many salutations to the hopeful elect out there. Akim to Zadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. Also to the Akwakim that listen. Just keep it to that. Listen on the comment. Listen, that's it, please. Right. What we're going to get into is that the time is short, man. There's a lot happening in just these few moments. You know, the political tides, everybody's talking politics, geopolitics, heightened volatility. There's a lot of uncertainty as to what might be the next coming months. All right, but we know this, that the Most High is speeding things up for the elect's sake. Before we get to scripture, there's a quote I saw by Lenin. Actually, bring out the scripture and I can see if I can find it.
This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them.
It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and him that, and ye that dwell in them. You know, talk about the people that was in this truth that passed, and everybody that's in the spirit world. They're gonna rejoice because guess what? They ain't gotta face the persecution that's coming, man. The trials and the pestilence and the mass death that's coming. So they rejoicing in the heavens.
It says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth.
And that word woe means destruction to the inhabitants of the earth. Why? Why?
It says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time.
And it's not talking about the spiritual demon Satan, because he's a spirit. He's not going to come down and bring in all kind of death. He's going to use his physical counterpart, which is Esau and Edom, the so-called white man, to bring that death and destruction. Because Esau, that's his physical counterpart on earth. Just like we have the physical counterparts of Yahweh, Yahweh Shah. You know what I mean?
I got the back real quick up. All right, so I found a quote. The quote is by, no, Vladimir. He looked like an Evie, but it's not him. This is Vladimir Lenin from the Soviet time. He said, there are decades where nothing happens, and there are weeks where decades happen. So
that's a great quote. Right? You can read that again, Baba Bashar?
I'll bring it out. Vladimir Lenin said, there are decades where nothing happens, and there are weeks where decades happen. And that's what we're seeing pretty much. I mean, like, if you are subscribed to X, which I recommend you subscribe to X because it's unbiased. I was checking it out. Like, you're gonna see the far right and the far left. You're gonna see this side, that side, duking it out. Of course, you're gonna discern through the spirit, but it's just completely unadulterated, bro. If you want to look into the Sandy Hook hoax, you can literally type that shit in,
and they pop up.
And it'll pop up. Some of the most craziest conspiracies. You type it in, this shit is just dead. You can say fuck Elon Musk and you just keep your shit. Yo, it's like, but it's good because it's showing what Luke 12:2. The Lord said, "There's nothing hid that shall not be made known." Before the Most High destroy this shit, the Most High is gonna unveil a lot of shit. A lot of things like, damn, I wanted this, that. The Most High is gonna unveil it. They're even talking about releasing the files, the CIA files on the chariots. They're starting to release videos of the chariots.
Yeah, it's all on TikTok. A lot of videos of
planes just disappearing.
Underground, like, you know, they said in Antarctica, you know, over by Alaska, over there in that area, in that region in Antarctica, they got a big ass hole. And it was like, they would say never fly any planes over there, because that hole.
Talking about the Bermuda Triangle or no?
No, it's in Antarctica. They said never, it's one in the Bermuda Triangle too. They were talking about it. They said that it's like another dimension. And they were saying that they started to bring out files like in the 40s of how the Navy, and even up until 1986, the last recorded case was 1991, where this guy said that he seen a cigar-shaped UFO shoot up out of the waters.
Wow, that's a flying roll.
But it wasn't a roll; it was like a cigar shape.
No, but a roll is a cigar shape. Yeah. Like a cylinder, right?
Yeah. So they starting to bring that out. I'm saying, I wonder why they're trying to they're bringing all this information about so-called UFOs and aliens and all that. And they say, no, they're not little green men. That's betrayed.
You know what's the biggest thing being hidden? Is this knowledge, this truth. That's going to come to the forefront, according to scriptures, all right, according to prophecies. Everybody right now, you go on X, at one point, they used to support the so-called Jews. Now, you've seen a regular, average Edomite, so-called Americans, F Israel, like, yo, it's like, damn. Because remember when when there was no alternative media and there was no easy access to information,
There was only one narrative.
exactly, whoever controlled the newspaper pretty much controlled the minds of the people. You saw what I put in the chat, right? I said that shit came out with Denzel Washington. I'm like, yo, it's funny how all these celebrities is coming out as gays and homos, but in 2005, all I was being told was Michael Jackson is a homo and a pedophile, but he's not on the Diddy list or the Epstein list. But my point is, the media could, whatever they bombard in your mind, they could really have you think whatever they want you to think. But now, the option is out there. Okay, no, let me fucking assess things for myself. Let me come to my own conclusion. People are becoming their own independent journalists, and that's the Most High. And guess what? More people are gonna come back, namely Israelites, to this truth right here.
Why do you think the international bankers, you know, the Rothschilds? I got a script. The Rothschilds, they brought up the media and consolidated. So you got certain media outlets that control the whole narrative. If they control the news, they control your mind. You know, that's why Alex Jones came out with InfoWars. There's a war for your mind.
And that was when that thing came out that the Onion had bought out InfoWars, which it turned out to not be true. Guess what? The only place he went live on? X. When Candace Owens got banned, was she going live on X? X right now is the #1 news app in the world, and they're trying to ban it in certain places like Brazil and the EU.
Because they don't want this news to get out. They don't want the information to get out.
This guy, J.D. Vance is the vice president of Trump. He said on Twitter, he said on X, he said if the EU bans X, we're gonna pull America out of NATO. Because everybody knows right now is like, if people could go to another source to get information,
They're going to do something.
they don't want people like that. They want people thinking whatever we think. But we're seeing the decline of what they call legacy media. CNN is going under, MSNBC is going under. These people are getting fired left and right because nobody's buying that shit anymore.
And now, everything that I've been seeing on TikTok, this one guy to be talking with these women on the View on the panel, he be cutting these women. He was like, okay.
The View was far left.
He was like, okay, when Donald Trump was running for president and when Biden was all 4 years, y'all were calling him a criminal. Y'all were saying that he's this, he's a racist. He like to violate women by touching their crouches and all that. But now he's been elected president now. Where's all this right here? Where's that same energy I have? Now you're quiet.
Well, they still talking shit against him, but I saw a clip where they did this with The View. They showed all the View talking shit about him when he was running for president and becoming president, and they showed him prior. They was dick riding. But before he started running for president, The View, Snoop Dogg, all these people was dick riding Trump. He was the man, like Trump was the man. All of a sudden when he became president, again, this is the narrative, whatever the narrative you go with, racist, all this shit came out.
Yep.
So
they were trying to keep him from running for president.
this dude said he's gonna sue. He's in a lawsuit right now with these couple of news channels for $10 billion.
Yep. For defamation of character.
Defamation
This
of character.
is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 14, and it reads, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword of their destruction draweth nigh."
Right. So woe means what? Destruction. All right. And them that dwell in the world. These people dwell in the world, meaning they prioritize the world. Okay. And they're gonna end up like Lot's wife, because when shit hits the fan, they're so drawn to the world that guess what they're gonna do? To conform and go on with living in these lives, they're gonna get that RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast. Okay.
Right.
And they could do the microchip many different ways, okay? You could do a cyber attack that pretty much says, look, for us to know that this is legitimately your assets, we have to tie it to your biometrics. Because the biometrics and transactions have to play a part in one. So typically how they push major things is they create a crisis and they come up with a solution. Just like they did with the stabby stab. They create a crisis and the solution is to stab you up. They're going to create a financial crisis, however the hell they do it, okay? And guess what? To continue on, you're going to need this chip, and people are going to line up in droves for it.
That's right.
Even guys call themselves Israelites, which we pray to the Most High, that happens to none of us, man.
That's right.
Because once that's in you, you are not part of the elect. Go ahead, bro.
It says, back in 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 15, "For the sword of their destruction draweth near, and one people shall stand up to fight against another."
Whether that be Americans against Americans, Americans against illegal migrants or migrants, it's going to be civil unrest. It's going to be a complete division. Okay, go ahead.
It says, and swords in their hands.
And weapons in their hands. All right, there's more guns in the United States than there are people. All right, so it's, hey man, things are bubbling. Okay, and again, there's certain things I say. I'm just speaking as a man. They could arm the migrants. I don't mean it's going to come to pass. I'm just saying, speaking as a man, speculating. They could do that. Okay, they pushing this whole left versus right, Democrat Republican thing. You also have the new guard versus the old guard. That's another thing too. What do I mean by that? You have certain elites that say, well, let's do this now. You have certain elites that say, let's push it off. Certain elites that do these, just like when you watch Blade 1, you had Frost and Blade, they were both vampires, right? Vampire elites. You had Frost that wanted to do things his way, and you had the older guards of the elites that wanted to do their thing that way.
And they show you that same scenario in that movie, The Rise of the Lycans.
Oh yeah, yep.
Underworld, The Rise of the Lycans, but they had the older vanguards of the
Vampires.
Vampires, and you had the younger version. They wanted to do things their way, the younger version, but the older version wanted to do things their way.
You know what's crazy? Rupert Murdoch, right? He was the former owner of Fox. He was pushing a lot of right shit, like the red side, whatever, right? But guess what? His son came in and started pushing left shit.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they could come in. I think Billions is a good example of that. Like, you could have a billionaire think this and back this particular organization, and then his son could come in and try to be greater than him and do different things.
Yeah, that's what they do. So this is back in 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor princes.
Right. Shit's gonna go so bad, because I remember one dude asked Elder Manatazakwa, this was recent. He actually did a show on it. Yo, since Trump did what was he saying? Give cops immunity. Does that mean that cops are gonna do whatever and kill us in Jacob's trouble? It's just a silly question. First of all, immunity doesn't mean immunity to break the fucking laws. All right, it means gives cops the immunity means gives them protection in a civil court case. That the NYD protects them and that you don't get sued personally. Now, with that said, you could, even if you were Jake inside law enforcement, you're gonna still be under Jacob's trouble. You're still gonna be in the midst of this.
That's right.
Okay, people are not gonna be listening to the deputies and mayors. That's how crazy shit is gonna be. It's gonna be, I gotta protect my family, and that's that.
Even man Mike Adams gonna be in the midst of Jacob's trouble. Is he a nigga? You know? So
if that was the case, then that would be the loophole. Or to avoid Jacob's trouble, just be a cop. No, Jake's and the cops aren't gonna be in Jacob's trouble, man.
They're going to be protecting their family. They ain't going to be caring about the uncivil unrest in the streets. They're not going to be caring about what's going on in Mike's crib. Hell no. They worry about what's going on in their crib. Like,
yo, you're right. You ever seen the movie Bugs Life? When that dude said, "What the fuck we worrying about the ants? The ants ain't a problem," right? He said that, right? He said that to the dude in Bugs Life. So the main grasshopper, he threw a little thing at him. He said, "Does that hurt?" He's like, "Nah." He threw another one. Does that hurt? Nah. Then he pulled the slid and like 100,000 of them shits just fell on him. And he said that's the problem with the ants. Like if it's just a little bit coming at law enforcement, it's not a big deal. But if you have hundreds of thousands of people just completely civil unrest, you can't control that. The law's gonna turn this shit up like that.
I was gonna say a lot of cops, NYPD, if you remember, a few months ago, a lot of these cops they were retiring.
Yeah,
they were retiring, trying to get their pension. They had a big ass meeting, like hundreds of cops outside because and not only that, the NYPD, they're not making their quota either.
Well, the thing was, the thing with that is to build upon that, they were pushing something called defund the police, meaning cut funding the police department. And it's like, yo, you want us to do our job, but we're not getting any fucking funding. So fuck you.
It's not really worth it.
You defund the police, that creates more crime in the neighborhood, you know? And just a little more.
I was gonna say something I found out actually real quick a couple of days ago. If you have like if you have car insurance, if you have car insurance within New York, they charge you a separate fee that goes directly to NYPD law enforcement. I got the name too, and they only charge it when you're renewing your insurance. So the bill is called New York Law Enforcement Fee. So I would suggest anyone to go to your insurance, look at like the bill statements of how they break it down, and it will show you it's a fee that they charge you that goes directly to NYPD, but it's only during the renewal, which your renewal is usually like twice a year. But it's like how many people are in the state of New York that's paying that fee?
But they're saying you could. They sent me that on my USAA insurance. They said that if you apply to it, online within a span of 60 days, if you do that, you ain't got to pay that fee. But if you don't, when you renew, anytime you renew your they renew your shit, you're gonna pay that fee, and it's gonna be like almost $100.
Yeah, I guess that's a particular policy they're coming up to help fund the state police.
Yeah.
If you look at states that have the defund the police narrative or defund the police or like don't fund the police, the crime rate is extremely high, right? Look at states like California, look at states like New York City, states like Chicago. Right now, that dude, the new Mayor Johnson in Chicago, people in Chicago, they saying this dude was worse than Lightfoot because they have that same sort of philosophy, defund the police and all this type of shit, and like people are just getting fed up with it.
Yeah, so this is back in 2nd Ezra chapter 16 through 17, and it reads.
That's why they're gonna say things like, man, fuck this man.
It says, it says, matter of fact, I'm gonna go back to 16. For there should be sedition among men.
Now, sedition amongst men mean what? Meaning enticing an uproar against the government, right? Good. And that's another thing too with these sites, bro. Like, so the way X work is like, if you watch a video, they'll start showing you more or less the kind of things you're watching, and you seeing like some people that are ready to just like say, yo, they just like, yo, fuck this place kind of stuff. Like, they don't. You have people that just don't trust nobody. And, yo, man, there's a lot of people out there thinking a lot of shit. A lot of people are prepping.
They don't get secluded, get society. They don't want to be a part of society no more. They just go to work and come home and stay in their house. You know what I mean? And I find myself doing that. Go to work, go to the gym, and come home and stay in my house. Do what I gotta do, run my little errands, and that's it. You know? There's nothing to be out here in the street for. What you in the street for?
Yo, man, sometimes I see niggas just sitting in front of a liquor store. It's just like, what are you?
Sitting in front of the A-Rap store.
I was like, damn, I can't believe that's still a thing, man.
And they still do it. The new thing is,
there's a chair, they open it up, and they're just in front of a liquor store all night.
They sit in front of the liquor store, and they sit in front of these A-Rap stores.
Or they building, or just on the block, just there.
It says, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
Now, the course of their actions stand in their power, meaning they ain't gonna get locked up. All right, because again, right, when that point hit, when Jacob's trouble hit, who's gonna lock you up? The cops is gonna be busy trying to work. Look, most of these major cities are very confined to a lot of people in a very small area. Despite the enormous amount of land we have, they have everybody consolidated in these small spaces. So it's gonna be more crime than they can handle. Right? You're gonna have people trying to flee the city. All right? You're gonna have people trying to rob, because it's just gonna be complete chaos, man. All out pandemonium chaos.
That's right. It says, verse 17, a man should desire to go into a city and should not be able to.
And shall not be able to, so they're gonna block and border these things off. Think about I Am Legend. Okay? And again, I always mention this, the Bronx here in New York City is the only thing that's connected to land. Every other shit's an island. Every other borough is an island. And if it's mass evacuation all at once, guess what? The shit is gonna be backed up.
That's right. Like that movie The Siege with Denzel Washington.
Yeah, or even The Dark Knight Returns when Bane blew up all them bridges.
Yeah.
And the cops couldn't get in.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Remember that he locked the cops in and just took the shit over, and it was complete chaos. The fire rises. You know, as he would say, and it did rise. People was going after the rich.
Yep.
Going to the equivalent of a Manhattan and running through the shit, just taking shit. And the cops couldn't do shit because they were stuck in them tunnels. They basically blew the tunnels up.
Where they couldn't get out, like the Lincoln Tunnel, they blew it and blocked it over. They couldn't get out. The Harlem Tunnel, the George Washington Bridge, all these major bridges connecting the city, he blew it up. That was a good ass movie, then, man.
Hell yeah, bro. Except Batman ain't gonna come to save you. It's just gonna be.
Before that, he did all that, he broke Batman up.
Yeah,
broke his back. Boom!
Nigga
back was all he couldn't walk. He was all lumped up and shit. You know what I mean? Then he went and terrorized the city, took over the city. There's no Batman. Who's gonna save you now? No police, no Batman. The same thing this time right here. Who's gonna save you?
Yo,
no police.
When you watch that too, the fucking criminals were the judges. Remember?
Yeah.
You had the criminal. You had a Scarecrow on the top of shit. He was like, he asked him. He had the commissioner. He had the politician. He had the policeman. He was like, yo, y'all done fucked the city up. How you wanna die? You wanna death by exile, meaning go out there and walk on the ice, or or just straight up death. Niggas say, you crazy, you think we're gonna walk out on the ice. He said, all right, death by exile. Niggas had to
Yeah, that was a good ass movie.
They just took the whole shit over, bro.
Criminals.
Yeah, criminals is like, fuck, we the lawmakers. Yo, it was crazy, bro, but they showing you. Whether they think it's a movie or not, like, look, the scriptures ain't gonna come to pass, man. You're gonna see some wild shit like that, man.
Yeah. Verse, it says, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into the city, should not be able. Verse 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid.
Ooh, men shall be afraid,
That's
man.
these women.
Yeah, and these men now are different, bro. Talking about these Gen Zs,
Yeah,
they
different.
bitches already. Yo, you saw that video where the nigga was like, he was walking. He was like kids born in the 80s. Nigga brushing shit like this.
Oh yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Nigga said born in the 80s.
The 90s, nigga, shit.
He said niggas born in the 90s.
Yeah.
Looked at it.
Yeah.
He said people born in 2000. And then he said Gen Z 20 niggas said. Just, like them basically niggas has got frail over the years.
Yep.
So when shit hit the fan, these green haired Twitch streaming niggas, they ain't gonna be a. That's how come Isaiah 4:1 is gonna kick in the play. Bitches ain't gonna be running these Twitch screamers for. They're gonna be. People are gonna. You're gonna see that gender roles are fucking real. Masculinity and femininity are absolutely real. Okay, and they come together like this. They're intertwined. No matter what this media is trying to wire you about. So when all shit kicks, them Twitch screamers, them Bitcoin billionaires that got these baddies, when it ain't about money and it comes down to raw protection, they're gonna be fucking. You know, women are survival creatures, man.
And then another thing that Donald Trump mentioned, he said he's going to pass a bill to ban teaching children about being confused about their gender.
Yeah. He said the federal government would only recognize two genders. That's male and female.
That's right. There's going to be no more teaching people in school that you could be
Whatever you want to be.
Your body.
Yeah, and mutilate yourself.
Body.
There's no more child mutilation. He wants to, because the thing is this: what Donald Trump is saying really is the majority of the voices of people in America. However,
don't want to say it.
They don't want to say it because guess what? The minority voice is controlled by the media.
That's right.
So even though it's a small group of people saying chop your dicks off and run around with all this type of crazy shit, the mass media, the Googles, the Amazons, the all these different mass media is saying this is what the majority of people think, but it's not true.
That's right.
Most people don't want their fucking kids to go to school and learn about that shit. I got a daughter. I don't want her in the bathroom with a nigga that's a born guy. That's common sense. But again, if you say that, you're banned.
Listen,
that's why he said, brother. That's why he said people that now that are saying shit like things like I just mentioned, if they ban you, Section 230, he's gonna be coming out to the Facebook submitters because that's how he got his ass banned.
That's right. And you got a lot of women. You had this woman on TikTok saying that y'all voted for a sick individual. She's trying to say that Donald Trump is sick for coming up with say he gonna pass that bill. It's gonna be one of the first bills he passed.
Common sense, bro.
But she's saying that he's sick. No, you sick, lady.
Yeah. It's mostly what they call liberals. And liberals are mainly women. Because to think these radical things, you have to be highly emotional. And then when women are highly emotional.
And you got a lot of women. You see that video where the chick was like, no, on the floor. Husband was like, yo. She said, stop recording me. I'm recording because I'm going to show you how crazy you are. She went to run to get away and ran into the wall. Boom, and fell and knocked herself out.
You got that woman I was talking about, try me, this teacher. Yeah. Try me. I will fucking, it's on and all that shit. That Edomite chick. Remember she said that? And that she got suspended from teaching because people are not comfortable with that. Like, yo, what the fuck? This is a teacher. Yeah. Yo, they taking this shit. And I said that, bro. I said, this is what I said to the spirit. I said, I think, because, brothers like, you know what? Look, if Kamala wins Civil War, right? I think there's more Civil War with Trump because the right side, the so-called Republican right side, they're not about, like, breaking laws and shit. They're more like the keeping the laws type and self-defense. You know what I mean? Because you saw what happened with the storming of the Capitol. They didn't really tear shit up like an Antifa would. On this side, the left, you have Antifa, you have BLM, George Soros backing them. Hey man, they could flip, man. That's what they're known for.
They also come out that I got this is the last one. This is the last one. Right there. It says A man should have no pity upon his neighbor. This is verse 19. 2 Ezra 15, verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword.
Yeah, the scriptures tell you this. When this comes to pass, they ain't gonna be there's another scripture in Ezekiel, I believe. There ain't gonna be no time for mourning. Like throwing ash on your head and renting your garment and all that. You know, these typical things you do with mourning for a dead body. Ain't gonna be no time for that. They're not gonna be giving a fuck. Like I said, it's gonna be survival of the fittest. Go ahead.
That's right. It says,
yeah, the love of many shall wax cold.
That's right. It says, a man, back to verse 19. A man, 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
When you're hungry, you don't think straight.
At all.
You don't think straight, bro. You're just trying to fucking survive. Like I said, this is gonna be like the survive. Because people think, man, there's a bunch of food in America. It's not so much about lacking food. It's a lack of access to food. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. Okay, because what the grocery store supply, that's gonna get bought up. Man, when I was at, I can say now I'm not there anymore. When I was at BJ's during the pandemic, shit was swept out quickly. Shit was swept out, bro.
Shit.
Yo, and let me tell you how people weren't thinking straight. We sell soaps that are antibacterial, right? Those was getting bought up. Buy every soap. Wash your hands. Antibacterial is not antiviral. But people weren't thinking. They was just like, I gotta get my hands clean and shit toilet paper.
Find a lot of hand sanitizers.
People was just fucking insane, man. They weren't even thinking straight. I'm like, yo, I'm the only one I'm like, yo, this shit is, yo, this is retarded. Like, I'm like, why are you buying antibacterial soap for a virus? Antibacterial is two different things. I'm like, man, people are very irrational, emotions, and scared.
Yeah.
Now, back that now with a fucking starving stomach.
Yeah, this is you got a preset?
I was gonna go ahead. You got it.
Yo, they were showing people on videos. Or look at the hospital. Come to find out, well, now it's released. They showed on X that, and that's another reason too. A lot of people are suing the left because during that pandemic, they were showing you shit that was happening in another country in a different year, and saying this is happening now during the pandemic.
Oh yeah. They have a
I remember
history of doing that shit, bro.
Yo, hey, some brothers got caught up in that too. What we thought, but it was bullshit. They was throwing the dead bodies in. I'm like, I'm outside doing lift. I'm like, where the dead bodies at? Remember they were showing that? Yeah. Yo, they throwing dead bodies into the truck. I'm driving by his hospital. I'm like, all right, you saying that on TV, but I'm not. Right. Look, and I remember saying, this is what I said when it happened. I said, if it's a true pandemic, you don't need the news.
You're gonna see bodies.
You're gonna see it.
Right.
If, in other words, if I walk up out of a coma and I'm just walking around, I wasn't thinking nothing about no pandemic until I turned on the TV.
Right.
In a true pandemic, you wake out of coma, what the fuck?
You're gonna see bodies laid everywhere, like in that back during the time of the bubonic plague. Bodies was dropping. People was laid out everywhere, man. People was stepping over bodies and shit. You know, a clip of that right there. Watch that movie, The Interview with the Vampire, when Brad Pitt was walking. Don't go away, man. The plague is everywhere. And they had bodies carrying bodies, seen bodies laid out. Cause he was a vampire. That happened to the bubonic plague. It was like in the 1700s, around that time.
That whole thing in 2020 was a wealth transfer. That's all it was about.
Yep.
It was. Look up how many billionaires was made during that time, man. And I was just like, this whole thing is about destroying the middle class.
Another thing they was doing was staging bodies being laid out.
Oh yeah.
One lady lifted up her shit and then went back down. They filming.
But guess what, bro? That video, they took it, but that video was people protesting something. They was acting dead to protest something, but then they put that with. That's what I'm saying. They were taking clips of other things that had nothing to do with that shit. And saying, look, people are going, look at this.
They was protesting a lot of shit, so they was laying out.
They put a bag over, so they weren't trying to fake.
No, they were
out there, exactly. But they took that fucking video and clipped it and said, look at the dead bodies in the street.
They didn't anticipate the lady lifting up her head and the bag coming up her head and shit. They didn't anticipate that. They was like, oh shit, but they couldn't edit that out. It was too late.
Yeah, but you see now too, this is what's gonna be different too. And I don't know if they keep X up. I don't know how that's gonna play out. But if you have shit like X and TikTok where you could immediately upload shit, it's not like YouTube, because YouTube got algorithms that trigger based off the things you speak about, the words you use, and it can ban you quickly.
Yeah.
But if they keep these platforms up, it's going to be harder and harder to trick the masses.
That's right. This is second Ezra, chapter 8, verse 50.
You think you can do a 9/11 now? You can.
It's too much.
You can. It's gonna come out too quick. Like, you think you could?
Right there.
You think you could? You think now in 2024 you could go to war in the Middle East and say it's about oil?
Bro, it was
When the fucking United States is selling oil, you can't use shit like that no more.
Bro, it was
I got a
less
quick article, too.
cameras in 2000. When that 2001 when
You
that
had a
happened,
cell
it was,
phone.
there was no cell phones like that.
Yeah. Well, your cell phone wasn't recording that clear.
Well, if it was, it was going to give you like, at the time, it would give you like 10-minute videos or, but it wasn't, like you said, it wasn't recording that clear. And not too many people had cell phones in 2001.
They can't do it. Like, remember, like building 7 folding, nothing touching it.
And
You
it was-
can't do that shit now,
And
bro.
there wasn't no social media like YouTube. YouTube was not in 2000.
Well, YouTube, I don't even use that shit like that. YouTube, I'm watching my videos, but really now I'm on X. I'm on X now. Go ahead. He has something to get him.
Yeah, because you mentioned the billionaires things with the V. So this article was published May 23rd, 2022. It's called oxform.org.
The moment you can start uploading videos on X, I can see YouTube taking a fucking big punch, bro.
Yeah. You can't upload videos on X.
Because imagine you could just upload this camp lesson, you don't have to fucking censor your speech, bro.
Well,
People are gonna say fuck this shit.
he
Go ahead.
should do that. Though. You can upload videos on X. This is what a couple of times we're going to expand.
Yeah, they're gonna scale. Go ahead, bro.
So from the article called oxform.org, it says the brief shows that 573 people became new billionaires during the pandemic at the rate of 1 every 30 hours.
Yep.
We expected this year that 263 million more people would cash into extreme poverty.
How did that happen, right? Well, let's piece it together. When you lock everything down and you collapse businesses because they have a very small overhead. If you own a bar, you need to make money every month. There's one brother, we own a business, and it took him 6 months to recover from one bad month. Imagine being shut down for 6 months. So a lot of people were hurt, but guess what? That drove down the value of your asset, and guess what? It was bought up dirt cheap. And why do you want to destroy the middle class? You want to destroy the middle class because the middle class have some sort of autonomy, right? The scriptures tell you that money is a defense. In other words, what I'm saying is this. When they did that thing and they said, you know what? Small businesses, they're not essential. Now you have to go to places like BJ's and Costco's, right? So you funnel everybody into these big block stores, right? That's the goal. Reason being, let's say for example, now they've issued a chip, right? If you're a small business owner and you got your own shit, you say, look, man, I'm not taking that chip shit. You can bring cash here, right? They don't want that. They want just big blockchains. Because if you have just everybody going to Home Depot, everybody going to Walmart for their particular goods, when you pass these acts, it's easy. Because they're already in on it. Let him finish
There's
his-
more. It says we expect this year that 263 million more people will crash into extreme poverty at a rate of 1 million people every 33 hours. It says billionaires' wealth has risen more in the first 24 months of COVID than in 23 years combined.
Yeah, so what's happening is the American GDP per capita, meaning the GDP per person, is rising drastically, but it's not the average person. In other words, if you look at a graph of the average GDP in America, you're going to see it rising drastically, but a majority of that is a lot of, basically what's happening is a small group of people has a majority of that wealth. You have a lot of poor people, but it's mixed together. So it looks like every American is making more money, but really it's a small percentage making a huge amount, and that poor making a little bit of amount, and it's going up like that.
You go-
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
And the elect with their eyes open, the hopeful elect with their eyes open, Satan is not, which is Esau, the so-called white man, is not going to get advantage of us because our eyes are open. And we diligently monitoring, measuring the times. 2 Corinthians 9:1, we measuring the times. We not just out here with our heads in the sand like an ostrich, with our asses up in the air, open to the elements. No, we are watching and paying attention, and we out here in the highways and the byways reporting what we see. And putting up videos, reporting what we see. Because we see that this devil is slick and sly. And going into what Shimon was talking about, how the rich and the poor, and they're taking the middle class out because they want. There's two classes of people. And John Todd, in the 70s, John Todd was one of the Council of 13, one of the high-level witch, but they put him to death. John Todd spoke about. He's bringing out a lot of information. He's like, yo, they're gonna be able to.
Some things was on point, some things wasn't.
Yeah, he was saying that what they're gonna do is these rich companies, they got so much money, these trillionaires that they're able to collapse $1 billion company and it won't hit their pockets. They're doing it so they can consolidate power and get rid of the middle class. He spoke about that in the 70s.
Yeah, well, what they do too is you just buy people out.
Yeah.
Like you starve a business out like Walmart. When Walmart come in your town, it's over. That's why a lot of people protest Walmart, because it destroys the small business guy can't compete. How is that? Let me tell you how. Let's say they raise minimum wage. Minimum wage is not to help the average civilian. That's to destroy the middle class, because if you have workers, right? You have workers, right? You're a small business guy, and they raise the minimum wage. Guess what? You have to pay your workers more, correct? That might be harder on you because a BJ's, a Costco, a Walmart, all they have to do is raise their prices to accommodate. You can't do that. You can't raise your prices because guess what? You're not ordering things by the millions. See what I'm saying? So they could raise their shit, man. Now, you mentioned that they're trying to have two classes. What does it say in Revelations? Rich and poor. It don't say rich, middle, and poor. It says rich and poor. Go ahead, bro.
This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, verse 1. Said, he answered then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it's the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
Break it down, huh?
Yeah, that's right. So, that's what we're doing right here, man. We're measuring the time diligently in ourselves, man. We're watching everything that's going on, and we're filtering it through the scriptures, man. All right? So when you see our society collapse, all right, the middle class falling apart, all right, there's a threat of famine, all right, people living barely check to check, all right, you understand these are the times that we're living in, man, all right, this place called America is really circling the drain, and there's no future, there's no make America great again, man, all right, it's either you're a rich elite or you a useless eater, man, you one of the poor. All right? So these are the times that we're living in, and we're warning the people, hey, man, we're warning our people, hey, get your mind right, because, hey, they got this thing called Project Black 2025. I did a video on it, a couple of days ago, and they talking about the same shit. Oh, we pull up our money and we get doctors and lawyers and all this other shit, when these things have been done before, man. All right, we've seen Black Wall Street, we've seen all these things before, and we've seen these things come to naught, man. All right, because why? It's of man. It's not of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. All right. Okay. So it says, then shalt thou. Damn. It says then. Salak.
Yes.
Can't read this, bro.
Yes. Are you buzzed in? Hold on, I'm trying to buzz you in. Hold on.
It says, then shalt thou understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And that's what it is, man. The Lord is visiting this world, man.
The door won't open
Right,
up?
we in the last days are the last days, man. There's no bright future, so-called bright future, all right, for you Americans, man. Niggas want to stay here and still set up shop. Nah, man. All right? As a brother was saying, man, ain't no middle class, man. Ain't no white fence, picket white fence and 2.5 kids, man. Them days is fucking over, man.
Those are the leave it days.
Right.
1950s.
Leave it to be.
Right.
That's what happened in the 50s.
That's what they want. You come home, they want one guy working, you come home to a slim wife making an American pie.
Right. You put on the window, you know what I'm saying?
Hell no, man.
They're cool.
Right.
Whites
Hell
only
no.
pies.
Right.
Hell no, man.
Whites only pies.
Yep.
Hell no, bro. Destruction is coming.
That's right.
So you just read that?
Yeah.
All right, so how do we measure the times? What do we measure? Read that.
2nd Ezra chapter 4, verse 37. By measure have he measured the times, and by number have he numbered the times.
Yeah, but what's that going into? How are we measuring? It's going into prophecies. Okay, it's going into prophecy.
There's one in the book of Job too. The same thing.
Yeah, so like the brother's going into, we're in a time of the end. Okay, this is not like 50 years ago when you couldn't talk about an RFID chip or something. The technology wasn't there, right? We're measuring the times. The prophecy that we read about in the scriptures. We're in the very end of this thing. World War III, the chip is already here. All right, it's not like we're waiting on them to make the chip is already here. We're just waiting for the part where they mandate it. That's it, really. Once that's mandated, World War III, and guess what? Like we mentioned, a decade could happen in a week, man. A decade could happen in a fucking week, man. You know?
A decade of all kind of shit happening. Like you see what's happening now, right? With Iran, the Houthis, Hezbollah.
You got a bunch of nations right now that are protesting Israel. Even nations that are allied to NATO, like Turkey, for example.
Yeah.
Okay. When you on X, there's it's called Global News, and you have these Italy's coming out. A lot of these different nations have voted. They did a vote. 170 nations voted that Israel is pretty much like what they're doing in the Palestinians are fucked up. Now check this out. There's only a couple nations that backed that it wasn't. Israel, United States, and Saudi Arabia. And we've been saying for a long time through the scriptures, that's what a major war is going to be. All right? NATO is going to turn its back on the United States, man. That's what's going to happen. They're going to turn their back on Israel. Even Great Britain, one of America's allies. And we're seeing things like that right now in the talks. In other words, cold wars eventually become hot wars. So these rumors of wars, guess what? That's prophesied in the scriptures. So this is not, well, if we're measuring the times, this is not decades ago and shit. All we're gonna do? No, we're at the very fucking end of this thing, man.
I got that day shortened.
But let me finish out.
It says, back in 2nd Ezra chapter 4, verse 37, it says, by measure have he measured the times, and by number have he numbered the times, and he doth not move nor stir them until the set measure be fulfilled.
Right, so one prophecy has to be completed, then the next prophecy completed. And when we go through this book and we go through these different prophecies, we are in the prophecies that are at the very end, man. The technology is there, the information is there, all this information is coming out. All right? There's a lot of division in the world, okay? There's a lot of infighting amongst these fucking elites. Scripture says a house divided shall not stand, all right? So we're seeing it right now in 4D, but guess what? You still got niggas, you still got Jakes that don't see it, that choose the world. You got Israelites that know this thing and went back in the fucking world. Despite seeing all, not faith, you gotta have faith. Ephesians 2:8. If you don't got no faith, it don't matter what the fuck you see. You know what proves that? The niggas that died in the wilderness, man. Here it is, you saw a chariot. You know how some brothers, we get excited, seeing a little dot on the screen, a chariot. They actually seen it full blown in their face, doing things, man. Parting seas. They don't know faith though. So, you know, like, look, I know brothers get excited, we get excited, but, you know, it should be faith. It should be faith, man. You got motherfuckers telling you, Elon Musk just got partnered with Donald Trump. Here it is, you got the fucking guy that's supposed to be the president, partnered with the guy that's working on brain chips and Neuralink, in charge of the Department of Government Efficiencies, meaning overseeing finances. Can you not put the puzzles together?
You see a piece of,
like, what the fuck, bro? And then you see that, and then just, you know what, I'm going to the world.
Charles Schwab, if that's his name, Klaus Weber's name is
Charles Schwab?
Charles Schwab. He's the dude from the World Health Organization, the leader, the founder of that, in the picture with Donald Trump. You know, this is back in...
Talking about Klaus?
Charles Schwab didn't...
Talking about Klaus, right?
Yeah.
Klaus.
Charles Schwab didn't found who?
Klaus.
Klaus.
Okay.
Klaus. The picture with him, Donald Trump, Jared Kushner in the back. This is when, right before he lost the election of 2020. And then all them people together, this guy's coming with some he's coming with how can I say? And Elon Musk was there, so he's coming with the Neuralink thing. This guy talking about everybody's being connected together, making a one world government, and Donald Trump is right there. So you can't tell me that they not all together in this thing right here. You can't see the picture of it's being a picture being painted. A picture's better than 1,000 words. That's what they say.
No, that's a picture is worth more than 1,000 words.
Yeah.
This dude Trump said one of the first things he's going to do is going to pull the United States out of who? which is the World Health Organization, because he says that's backed by China. That's what he says. Look, there's a lot of shit right now being said.
But we're going to see.
Because ultimately, all these different picks, and I'm putting this person, that person here, it's not finalized till it's passed by the House Senate Committee.
Hey, Donald Trump, he can say anything, man. Hey, you know, the MO and the so-called white man, he say one thing and don't back up his foot. All right?
Which is what he's known to do.
It's
known to do,
alleged.
yeah.
It's alleged that Donald Trump is going to appoint this dude Alex Jones to be the press secretary.
That's bullshit.
I mean, yeah, I know, but it's been alleged.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna tell you how that started. Candace Owens said on live that she would love for Alex Jones to be his press secretary. Then Alex Jones said, I would love to take that role. But that never came out by Trump. He already appointed his press secretary.
I know, but
she's a little baddie too. Now, the thing I'm gonna say with Trump is this, right? This is what I say with Trump. And we know that this man's, I don't want my message to be messed up here. When he says something, you actually see him try to push for it in office. Okay? When he gets in office, he tries to push it, just like in the previous campaign, right? The things that he wants to push, I want to see, because it's going to stir a lot of shit up in terms of geopolitics. When I read scriptures like Obadiah, those are the once was Confederate. In other words, if he takes a so-called American first approach to things, it will really fulfill American Israel versus the world, as the scriptures pretty much say. So let's see that. Let's see if that plays out.
Because they say they got this slogan in America: Israel first. Not even American, his own citizens.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying though. But that sets up the scriptures, because it's supposed to be America and Israel versus the world. In World War III, it's going to be mainly America, mainly Israel. Meaning NATO is not going to even be a part with helping America.
Yeah.
So this guy says he wants nothing to do with who. He wants nothing to do with a lot of these different foreign countries. But guess what? He's 100% with Israel.
Yeah.
100%. Zionist to the fucking max. And that's, hey man, that's what I want to see. I want to see these two fucking powers, as the scriptures talk about, go against the entire world. Let's see if it comes to pass.
This is back in 2nd Ezra chapter 4, verse I think that was it. It was only one verse, 37. But I'm gonna continue. So I can continue more.
This is Revelation 13 and 14. I remember you was mentioning the text. Revelation 13 and 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
Yeah, many miracles. But the miracles that you goes into is the technology. Look at this right now, bro. We're recording this on a device that's going to be seen across the entire world. You know what I'm saying?
This is somewhat of a miracle.
Yeah, well, you're right, brother. You're right. I mean, this is the Urim and Thummim, and reincarnated, but it's a miracle in itself. Some of the things that this device could do. Yeah. And what's so crazy about it is just how quickly it's moving. Because it wasn't just like 10 years ago.
Right.
We had a camcorder to record videos.
Right.
We couldn't do the wait.
I had a camcorder.
We're recording with the camcorders.
Yeah, I had one.
Right? We had a camcorder for camp, going like that. Now look at this. Your phone couldn't, at one point, the phone couldn't hold enough storage to do an entire camp lesson. Now, not only could it hold it, you're seeing it more crystal clear.
But one time, we had the camcorders, and they have to upload it to YouTube. Now, it's like you get these phones, you just press upload and share, you go to YouTube.
It had to be like that. We was on the battlefield and it was crowded, so we had to be able to maneuver with the camera.
You know what I always say, brother, and I've been saying this for a number of years. To further prophecy, you have to further technology. They go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? Because there's certain scriptures and prophecies you read about, technology have to be there.
That's right.
Mainly the nuclear missiles, man. Some of the things that the missiles did when they first dropped, like atomic bombs, it couldn't wipe out Texas at the time. Now that shit could wipe out Texas and travel over here faster than the speed of a bullet. I'm talking about missiles the size of this building here, with a nuclear payload that could wipe out an entire fucking state, bro.
They're saying that one warhead could destroy Texas. They said one warhead could destroy, two warheads could destroy the whole state of the whole country of France.
You got the United States that have Tomahawk missiles and submarines that when they get launched, those are nuclear warheads and you don't know what I'm Trish's position. Yo, man, that's why I'm so fucking excited, man, because you got all these nations right now that are completely going against Israel. And the United States, Donald Trump is backing Israel 100%. Turn the fuck up, man.
Stop.
I mean, the only thing we waiting again is that mandate. That's it. That once the chip becomes mandated, bro, that's it. World War III could take place.
It's going to take a major economic collapse for that to happen. We would change the system. because and they doing it slowly, but they trying to. It's called gradualism. They're gradually putting it into effect. They don't want to just do it right away. They want to gradually slip it in so you can just.
Well, this dude Trump said he wants to make the United States the crypto planet of the world. So everything is going to be crypto, right? Everything is going to be a digital form, which everything is already digital currency, right? Who the fuck really is using cash? You know what I'm saying? So the RFID microchip is a payment system. That's all it is. It's a payment system.
Yep, but you gotta inject it into your body. Though.
Right. And you do that, you're done for. What I'm saying is this: it's not going to be a large hump for people to get into it.
Of course not.
Because it's going to be like, shit, I'm already tapping and tapping this and tapping that and tapping this.
Just tap my wrist.
Tap my wrist. And
there you go.
you do that, you know, Revelation 14 and 10. Revelation 14, 9 and 10.
Yeah, 9 and 10, yeah.
Going to be slated for destruction. Let's go, Al, what you got?
All right, let me finish that. Revelation 13 and 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live.
Read it again, Oxalot.
All right, time. And saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast.
An image to the beast. So the beast is the Roman Empire. The image is when you're looking at a reflection of yourself. All right, what's the mirror reflection of the Roman Empire? America. Go ahead, Doc.
Which had the wound by a sword and did live.
A wound by a sword and did live.
Yeah, but because the first, remember they went down. The Roman, they
Right,
went
yes. So
in the,
America is the rebirth of the Roman Empire.
The
That's-
Dark Ages.
The Renaissance.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Right.
Even before that, the Dark Ages, it was then a time when it was called the pagan Roman Empire went down, then the Holy Roman Empire, which was Jake, came into power, and from there.
Yeah.
What do you
And
read?
the
Revelations
image,
what?
There's 13, and the
Okay.
image is their system and their New World Order also.
Right,
you know?
right. So Revelations, the 13th chapter, when you read it, is describing a beast. That beast that you're reading about is a so-called white man in his different empires. Okay, because you hear about the lion, which is the British. You hear about the leopard, which is Alexander the Greek. Okay, and it said that beast was given power by Satan. Okay, so that beast that we're reading about is the different legs of the so-called white man's rulership. And guess what? America stems into that. It's a mirror image, and it's a reborn of that beast, Rome.
7 heads. You know, and Most High is plaguing the shit out of Spain right now. They're having floods after floods, man. I mean, it's been a month of nothing but floods out there, man. In different parts of France, different regions of France, you know.
You got NATO and the EU.
I said
7 heads and 10 horns.
Spain.
7 heads of NATO and the EU. Now the thing about that is the tension again. Why this guy Trump don't fuck with NATO? So if you know anything about NATO, 74% of that's the American military.
Yep.
We've been knowing that. You know, the United States military can use NATO as a proxy to get closer to its enemies, right? What you do is you get a country, let's say it borders Russia. Hey, be a part of NATO. Now we can put American missiles at Russia's border, or whatever different nation you're against, right? Now this is what this guy is saying. He's saying, look, when we did that, what these other nations did was just defund their military. Like, why the fuck would I fund my military if America's gonna take care of me? So this guy was up on stage saying that these other nations aren't paying their fair shares as a part of NATO.
That's the trouble. Saying
He said that shit in 2017.
In his first go
I'm watching that shit, and it almost, to me at least, speaking as a man, it looked like they didn't know he was gonna say that. Cause they were looking around like, you know, like when you smile awkwardly. Like I was like, yo, what the fuck?
He said the nations are angry, right? You remember
He's more stout than they felt.
What's the deal with that Bush, Daddy Bush, Gorbachev, of Russia, and somebody else made? That no nations will be getting close to Russia's borders.
Right. Yeah. If you dismantle the Soviet Union, no nation should be. He said we will not move 1 inch westward, which complete like.
But
this is
1991.
not. And this is not my own thought. This is not my own joint. When Paul had me, he used to have me research certain things with Columbia University, and I tapped in on one of their lectures. He said I could even go there if I had the time, and I tapped into one of their lectures, and they mentioned this.
Yeah,
know,
but
I'm
guess
sorry.
what? The so-called white man fucks over the so-called white man. There's no brotherly. There's no like, hey. They cut each other off and do fucking dirty deals because they expanded NATO anyways. That's how come, as much as they want to talk about peace negotiations between Russia and America, Cuba's not gonna do that. Why? Because America has fucked Russia over so many times. They've gave them so many different agreements. We're not gonna do that.
You're not gonna do this, but they do it anyway.
What was that shit with the that missile? What's that missile deal? Oh my God, my memory slips. But they've made America has made countless different treaties with these other different countries, and just said fuck them. That's how come it says them that break thy bread. Get that real quick in Obadiah.
I got you. It's around 7.
Yeah, Obadiah 1 and 7. Because America cuts this information was released that Donald Trump sat with Vladimir Putin to discuss peace, right? That was leaked by the Washington Post. Well, guess what? The Kremlin came out and said, look, that should never happen. You know? Now, it could happen. We don't know. We don't know. But the Washington Post said unknown sources or something like that. But the Kremlin came out and said they never sat together. So it could actually happen, but Russia doesn't want to look like it from a stance of weakness, or it could happen. But
I don't think so. I don't think it happens. Russia, because Vladimir Putin is very blunt. He's very blunt about what he does.
That's true.
He's very blunt. He ain't gonna. He did it. He did it. You know, just like him.
Because like what I'm saying is a sign of weakness. Because think about it. If they did sit down, right, to so-called negotiate peace, right, then it'll look like Putin is operating on Trump's terms. Russia will look weak. That's what I'm saying.
He's not. He's operating his own terms. You know, you look at on the wider standpoint. You know,
and you can't trust the Washington Post, man. You can. That's another that's one of these another news media outlets that are losing money because they just putting out news and not even not having legitimate sources. It was not confirmed by Trump. It was not confirmed by Putin that they met together to discuss peace.
The New York Times is losing a lot of money too, but they put up a lot of bullshit, fluff and puff too as well. You know,
They try to filter what you read nowadays, bro.
And you know what they do? They slip a little truth in the New York Times, but ultimately, it's more bullshit than truth. They slip a little truth in though, just to keep you interested, to keep you hooked on the New York Times.
Yo, man, you know what too, bro? This is what I love, man. I love I can look shit up myself now, bro. Because I remember back in 08 when you was in the conspiracies, 08, 09, what you had? You had Maxwell, you had Jordan Maxwell, you had David Icke, you had, we're talking about reptilians, you had Alex Jones. Those guys were like the vanguards, right? And it's just like, those guys fuck shit up, man. You know how they fuck shit up? They fuck shit up like this. If you try to bring out legitimate journalism, like let's say we talked about the 9/11 thing, right? Saudi Arabia and Israel involvement. Guess what? By the time you try to bring it out to somebody, the planes were holograms. They didn't. It was just too many conspiracies when you try to discuss legitimate facts. It's like it gets muffled all together. Yeah. And that's.
But now, with all this technology and these different platforms, you can get pieces of the stuff that people is putting out there and put it together. You got your own picture. And you don't have to go on these other people beliefs. Because they could
look shit up yourself, bro.
Basically what they do is they give you truth and they send lies into confusion.
Yeah. It's just so much. Like, it basically, don't believe anything to the point where, like, no, this is, you know what it's like, bro? This is how I can compare it. You know how people, we tell people that we
added water to it.
No, I'm saying it like this. Think about it like this, right? You got a lot of people that know about the Israelites, right? If they come to us and we try to tell them the truth, they're gonna say, none of you guys, y'all all the same. Yeah. But no, we have the truth. But guess what? They've heard many different camps, many different breakdowns of the scriptures. They probably lump it up as all bullshit. That's not what's happening, right?
Precept. Psalm chapter 6, verse 14 says, "Behold, he travailed with iniquity, and had conceived mischief, and brought forth falsehood."
Yeah, so-called white man brings out a bunch of lies. It's our job to the spirit to discern it, man. Like me, this is a hard thing. Man. You see how I talked about grouping up every conspiracy, right? I think when they say things like everything is scripted, that could also be used. Think about it. That could also be used as a tactic in itself, right? Because if you bring out legitimate journalism, you can say, well, no, guess what? It's all fucking fake. Now, a majority of it is psyop. Damn near close to 90% of it. But just like when you walk across an Israelite, 90% of these Israelite groups out here don't have the truth. But guess what? 10%, there is truth in there. So there are legit things that do happen. But guess what? If you try to discuss it, fuck it, it's all fake at this point. So they could use that too. Is what I'm saying. They could literally be pushing out that narrative. Go ahead.
Obadiah 1, verse 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border.
You know, I'll give you an example of that. What I just mentioned. Let's talk about BlackRock. You brothers know about BlackRock, right? BlackRock and Larry Fink. Them niggas don't got no power. BlackRock manages money. Larry Fink is just another fucking face. He manages money. He doesn't own that money. That's like saying, so how much he has on the management? BlackRock has what, 10 million?
Yeah.
10, no, I'm sorry, 10 trillion.
10 trillion.
10 trillion.
They're weapons manufacturer. BlackRock?
No, they don't. No. BlackRock is a
No, that's
asset.
Lockheed Martin.
Lockheed Martin. BlackRock is an asset man. They manage money, right? I'm just gonna explain something. BlackRock manages money, right? Larry Fink is the CEO of managing that money, right? That's it. He's the CEO of that asset management group, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how the hell did they get 10 trillion? Well, guess what? Your 401k, your pensions, all these different things get put into that. So as the United States GDP grows, BlackRock is gonna grow, right? So to say that Larry Fink could boss people around, people don't gotta listen to a motherfucker like that, right? So my point is this: do we then say Vanguard? Who's the CEO of Vanguard? You can look him up. I think his name is Ramij Samij.
That's a good question.
Look it up. Look at the CEO. It should be Ramij Samij. I just want to make a quick point.
It is Salim Ramji.
Salim Ramji, right? He's the CEO of Vanguard, right?
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yeah,
he's
a
a CEO.
former BlackRock executive.
Now he's managing this. Now he's the CEO of Vanguard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now how much does Vanguard have on the management?
How much they got on the manager?
Should be 9 trillion.
Give me a second. I gotta get this shit together. All right. Vanguard management, right?
Mm-hmm.
Money, management.
So Larry Fink is managing 10 trillion on the BlackRock. Samij is managing how much on the Vanguard?
It is 8.6 trillion.
Oh,
So that's 8 trillion 600 billion.
So can Samij tell Vladimir Putin what to do?
That's right, right?
Yeah. But you see my point? I'm saying these guys are front faces, but you can paint them as a boogeyman. In other words, you worrying about the guy that's managing the money, right? But what about the guy that could just pull the money? That name you will never know. That face you will never see. But you know what? We could, hey, BlackRock, Larry Fink, you can scare people with that.
Yeah.
Think they really doing shit, but they really don't have no power.
It says, as of September 30th, 2024, the Vanguard Group had
9.3
9.3
trillion.
in assets under management.
But what I'm saying is, can the CEO of Vanguard tell Vladimir Putin or Xi Jinping what to do?
No, of course not.
But you can put out a video saying this guy controls the world, and what all you're doing is you're just putting up a face.
Because people don't question.
You putting up a face. You putting up a face because you know what? It's scary. It's a good narrative. But you could be my asset manager. But what if I just take my shit away?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is you'll never see the families and names of the people that could pull that money out. But you could put yeah, Rothschilds and family shit. We probably don't even know, bro. But I'm saying like you could say don't put my name. No, Larry Fink. He's the one controlling shit. BlackRock. Them they do it. Yeah, they're managing the money, but
they don't own the money.
They don't own the fucking money.
Just like on billions, right? Bobby Axelrod, he had billions, but also he was managing a lot of people's bread.
You know what you could do to prove this too, Rock? Yeah, exactly. He was managing the bread, but he
had a few billions of his own, but a lot of it he was managing.
He's no different than Ray Dalio. You know what you could do too? You could look at this. You can see how much money is locked up in 401k. It's like 2-point-something trillion. So that 401k is going to be right on the BlackRock, right on the Vanguard, right under these different major institutions, but that doesn't mean they can pass laws and shit. They can influence people and lobby shit, yeah, but that's just another fucking face, bro. So they could create boogeymen. They could create a lot of fucking narratives, man. Got 4 minutes? Hey, let's close out with the scripture of the year, Luke 12 and 2. I'm calling it the scripture of the year, bro. Luke, a lot of fucking shit came out this year. It's coming out.
Yeah. It's Luke chapter 12, verse 2.
Larry Finger's only worth 1 point something billion.
It says,
Pocket change.
for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known.
Yeah, neither hid that shall not be known. So the Most High is going to bring everything to light. Starting first and foremost with the prophets, because you know what I realized? A lot of stuff that comes to light, brothers been saying it through the Spirit. It comes to light eventually. Right? It comes to light eventually. I mean, we say things through the Spirit like we speak as a man. We don't know if 100% true, but guess what? Then it becomes mainstream news. Most High reveals it to his prophets. Go ahead, brother.
It says, therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which ye have spoken in the air in closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetops.
It is crazy because there's a lot of things that we normally would say in the past or even say now that would just be deemed strictly conspiracy. But now people have the option to look these things up. So when we could tell you, look, there's a cabal elite that's running a majority of things in the families. Rothschilds, yes, but there's other rich families out there that they'll walk around, you don't even know what the fuck they look like, man. They could put a face out there, give you Larry Fink, they could put a name out there, BlackRock and Skater Fuck, but they're not, you know what I'm saying?
The top owners you ain't never seen.
You're never gonna see.
You never
bro.
gonna know them either. The top vampires of
There's
the
power in secrecy. That's what the Lord tells you that. Proverbs 25 and 3. It's glory to the Most High to conceal it. So, yeah. Hey man, we're gonna give all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kodash.
that belongs to the apostles. Shalom.
Shalom.